Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Sure can. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this conversation again.
No worries. We're gonna get started in just a second. We've got John Simmons is also joining us from the School of Nursing, and we're going to promote him. There he is.
Hey, John, long time no see.
Long time no see. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Sure can.
Good.
We're good. All right, we've got a quorum of SUDEC, so I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is the Monroe County Substance Use Disorder. Today is December the 15th at noon. We're in the Monroe County Courthouse in the County Council conference room because we are installing brand new microphones in the Nat U Hill room, so you can hopefully hear us better when we are in that meeting next year. We're going to mix up our agenda a little bit. We're going to start with the 2024 Educational Summit because we have guests here. And I think the way that I'd like to start here is, could we do a round of introductions here in the County Council chambers? And then we'll go to Zoom and do introductions there. Does that sound good?
Yes,
can we start with the person on the screen?
Yep, Erica Oliphant, Monroe County Prosecuting Attorney, former member of SUDEC.
Tricia Cummings, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney, current member.
Penny Gibbons, member and Monroe County Commissioner.
Kathy Hewitt, Population Health and Outreach Manager at the Health Department.
Melanie Meslich, Senior Community Health Specialist at Monroe County Health Department and SUDEC member.
I'm Whitney Meeks. I work with the Indiana Recovery Alliance. I'm Ashley Collins. I work at Centerstone. I'm the program director and manager of our Cork grant.
And I'm Peter Iverson. I serve on the county council and am president of this August body. Marcus, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. It's great to see everyone. This is Marcus Whited. I'm the program director at the Community Foundation of Bloomington and Monroe County.
All right, John.
Yeah, this is John Simmons. I'm marketing manager for the Schools of Nursing in Bloomington, Indianapolis, and Fort Wayne. And I am a former member of SUDEC, and I was a former member of the planning committee for your last summit.
Excellent. And we had two others join us, so we're going to put them on the spot. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Karen Renbeck. I'm a Deputy Public Defender here in Monroe County.
Sarah Larson, just concerned citizen, I guess.
Awesome. Great.
Sure.
All right. So what we're going to do today is we are going to walk through a series of thoughts we've had on restarting the opioid summit. And so we wanted to get everyone off on kind of the same page. And so I think we're going to go through this. We had a little while ago sat down at the health department and gone through some of the historical documents that Marcus, you and John, you had helped us with, as well as other people at this table, and we compiled some thoughts. And so I think in terms of the logistics, we're going to restart this in 2024. We don't have a date yet, but we're thinking we're only going to do this for one day. We're not going to do a 2-day summit. We're going to start small and work our way up. The theme is going to be building recovery through connections, dedicated to the work of Greg May. And I don't know, I'm sure everyone here remembers the great work that Greg did, and we want to make sure the community remembers his work. The message is going to be based on 3 points. Number 1, harm reduction works. Number 2, recovery is for everybody. And number 3, together we create new paths through community. Any thoughts or questions at that point, or at this point? Okay. We have not chosen external or guest speakers. Commissioner Githens, you wanted to talk a little bit about this.
Yes. There is actually an internationally known researcher here at IU who does work on stigma and stigma, especially related to mental illness. Her name is Bernice Piscatolito, and I heard her speak last week at a program that Mental Health America put on. And there are a couple things that I think, as we look at these things, she actually was talking about how you reduce stigma, where they see things most often. One of the things she said was that if an individual is using or has been using opioids, whichever state you're in, that there's less stigma attached if the addiction started through prescription drugs, which is very interesting kind of things that, and I think she could add at something as a speaker. She wouldn't have to be one of the keynotes, but I think that we could connect with her if you're at all interested in somebody talking about stigma. She's the one on campus who was doing Bring Change to Mind. And she's a good presenter. She's very engaging.
Yes.
Go ahead, John.
No, she is. Did you also know she's friends with Glenn Close? And she brings Glenn Close here to IU to talk for her school and all that. So I just thought that, yeah, I've met Bernice several times. Yeah.
Can she bring Glenn to this then?
Well, you know, you can always ask, but
Yeah, well, she's the reason that Glenn Close had her costume,
yes,
costume stuff at the
Right.
local. Yeah.
Right.
Bernice is also a friend of mine. Our kids ran cross country together for years,
Yeah.
so yeah, I can pick up the phone and call her if we need.
Well, good. You know, one of the things that we really wanted to do with establishing a subcommittee to work on this summit was that subcommittee can do a lot of that work is finding out who are our main speaker and then who are those tertiary speakers. So I think that's a good suggestion. From Bernie.
Well, we need to, I think, nail down a date so that we can start to talk with people. And I think I had asked, and I'm sorry, I forgot, maybe I should text Felicia right now. I thought I had asked if we could have something at the convention center on September the 14th, I think, it's either the 7th or the 14th. So let me get in touch with Felicia. I think we wanted it to not be in conflict with Paint the Town Purple.
That's
Would
right.
have been the 7th, which is the first Friday in September.
yeah, I
next year.
think when we did the summit last time, we were in conflict with a number of other things, and we had good attendance, but I think we could have had more. So that's the big thing, is to make sure is to nail a date down soon, and to make sure we're not in conflict with any major things happening in Bloomington during that time. So
That's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
Well, we're gonna have a conflict with something. We know that. It's just the things, whether or not we're in conflict with the things that might be also overlap with what we're doing.
right.
Okay. So those are kind of the event basics. Does anybody have anything to add or items that we might have forgotten on the basics before we go into the programming team? All right, let's go into programming team. In the past, we've had co-chairs. That's usually been a member of the Board of Commissioners and County Council. Commissioner Githens is here from the Board of Commissioners. I'm here from the County Council. And one of the things that's changing this year is that historically, the host has been Monroe County government. But Commissioner Githens, I think we have been talking with DMHA, and they're interested in co-hosting as well. Is that correct still?
We need to get back in touch with Tony.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that provides an interesting series of options for the programming team to go forward with the aid and the assistance of DMHA. Next, the programming team needs a programming chair, and I've asked the prosecutor's office to fill that role. And I think our prosecutor Oliphant. What is,
Steve already wrote me down.
All right.
as, you know, as programming chair.
I think we discussed that.
I think we did too, but we wrangled her here
I'm here to serve.
and serve you will.
We got Yoda sitting in the.
I was gonna say, it's not volunteering, it's voluntelling.
That's right, John. That's right.
Back by popular demand.
TSD, would you mind promoting Ms. Terrell? Thank you. So the programming chair is going to oversee the programming members. Those members will include the Indiana Recovery Alliance, which we have representative here. The head of the Monroe County Health Department. A representative from Centerstone.
I talked with Linda and she said it would be me.
I'm comfortable with that. As your chair.
You're good with that.
A member from Courage to Change. Our two seasoned health department individuals sitting at the end of this table. Are you still willing to serve? Got some head nods, some tentative sure's. Centerstone's on here twice. Cross that off. We have someone from IU Health, which is Lori Terrell, who is in the attendees room. And so as soon as we get them promoted, then we can make sure that they know they've been voluntold. Community Foundation, thank you for being here. You're willing to serve again?
Definitely willing to, you know, to help with some of the planning. I think we better I think I'd like to get an idea for, you know, make sure I understand what I'm committing to and compare those timelines to what we've got going on here at the Community Foundation. But certainly, yeah, I'd like to be a part as much as I can.
Great, thank you so much. We have obviously John's here with the School of Nursing. Thank you, John, for being here. You're willing to serve as well?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's very big.
And from the School of Public Health, Professor Allison Green has agreed to serve, but at this time she's overseeing a PhD's work. So she couldn't be here with us today, but she's agreed to serve. Professor Green was at the health department with us. Boy, when was that? We were talking about RCOs. Yeah, it was a couple months ago, and she was very excited to be here. So that's the team. Historically, the team has divided itself into subcommittees to investigate sessions and tracks, sponsorships, and then also marketing. Do we feel pretty good about that organization? Oh, I forgot to mention Karen. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Karen,
But do you agree?
Steve's ready for you.
Well, I don't mind. My only concern is we're getting close to the quorum. So,
Well, but
I'm fine either way.
I will be careful, mindful of forum.
and I'm not going to be attending. I'm gonna let you all do what you do best, and I think I just muck things up and talk too much. So I think we'll be okay with one.
Okay.
That's why I put the cues on there so that we could keep a tally.
Yeah, but actually for Centerstone is another 2.
That's right. All right, we'll
Just
kick
beware.
people off the boat.
Beware.
That's only 5.
Actually, not a special member yet though, right?
It's true, I'm not an
That's
official
only
member yet.
5.
Not officially.
So she's not an official member. It's safe.
Quorum is 6 for this body.
Yeah, we'll be good.
Nick, come on in.
there are other chairs.
Oh, hold on, those are- You can come sit by me if you want.
All right, then the scope of the work of the programming team is going to be 6-fold. They will be securing sponsorships, determining speakers, planning the sessions, identifying session panelists, clarifying that message, and creating a list of the general public for us to get invitations out through Eventbrite or some other app. any thoughts or questions about any of that, about the programming team, its membership, the scope of work? No? Okay.
Sounds fine.
Clear as mud. One of the new things that we wanted to do this year was we wanted to contract out some of the marketing. We have some resources from the different pots of revenue streams that are coming into the county, and we wanted to use some of those to work with an event planner or some other type of vendor. We still need to put out an RFP, but what they would do would be, their scope of work would be threefold. They would work with marquees for all audio and visual needs. We know from the past that the availability of microphones has been a problem in some of the breakout rooms. And this just takes a lot of work off of people's hands. The other thing that we want to take off of particularly Melanie's plate is the second scope of work, which is that this group will do the designing and printing of the programs. That way we can have our folks focus on other planning events. And then the third and final portion is they'll make sure that we are offering continuing education credits, so that we don't have to have staff time dedicated to doing all those logistics, and we can make sure that individuals attending can get those CEUs.
And CLEs.
And CLEs. Questions, we're blazing through this.
So I do have a question about the revenue streams.
Yes,
When you say there's $40,000, that's not, I don't think that's how much is in the existing fund.
no, and that's why I put a question mark there.
I think it's more like 17 or 18,000, but I'm not sure. And also, these sponsorships, like these are from various years. Is that
These
right?
are from various years. This is a snapshot of kind of what has happened over time. So it's not prescriptive that we would have a $10,000 level or a $7,500 level or a $5,000 level. Moreover, it's meant to identify that in the past, we have had sponsors that have helped defray the costs.
And these were the levels that they provided sponsorships at.
Over the years. So some years we didn't have the Chariot level, other years we didn't have the bronze level, that sort of thing. I want to get back to the vendor, the event planner, their scope of work. I needed to add 3 more things. One is pre-event marketing. That's going to be in the different channels here, that we need to get those out. And that also includes making sure that we send out Eventbrite or what other app we're going to use, out to our selected invitees. They'll do day of marketing, making sure that that's all neat and tidy. And then also one of the items that we thought they could add to their plate was doing research on a conference app. I think as many of us have gone to conferences, and the use of apps at conferences has really helped with networking. It's helped with accessing the materials in the different sessions. And so they'll do that work.
You can also use it for feedback on the sessions.
That's right.
Really good. Who was one that we used recently? It was great. That's one, there's 1,000, there's probably better one. It's the last one I used.
All right. That's all. Kathy, all this sounds good to you? Okay. So this is a lot of work. So I think if we chunk this up into bits and pieces, I think that we can get this done. And so the schedule of meeting and events is this meeting in December is we are getting our committee members together. We're introducing the different roles.
Let's get Lori on here.
Then January, the programming chair will convene the first meeting of the programming subcommittee. So that will be a time where you all can figure out a date. It does not have to be during a SUDAC meeting. It can be As long as you don't have a quorum, it can be whenever you want. Lori, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Great, thanks for being here. So the January will be the first working meeting, and then as we go through and we get closer and closer to September, we'll have those subcommittees, the programming chair will organize so that we're doing all of that work. The subcommittee is going to prioritize their work, and then SUDAC meets once a month, and that can be a time where the programming chair can report back or designate an individual to report back. Does that sound good?
So when you say January, are you planning to be during the regular SUDAC meeting, or do you want me to convene a meeting in January?
Because, and the reason I say that is because I know that you have meetings outside of town pretty regularly. So I want this to be able to fit in your schedule, and I know everyone else is busy too, so.
Okay,
Do you have the contacts for everybody that's on that list, Erica?
I think the only one I don't have, I don't know if I have one from Courage to Change, but I'm sure I could get one. I don't know that I have, Ms. Carroll's, other than that.
Yeah, I already put myself down, so I'm 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 6, 4, 5. That way you're gonna call them members.
Okay,
Okay,
got it. I have a means to get Ms. Carroll's now. Thanks.
I continue with regards to change.
Mhm.
I continue for that.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Who is that, Kathy? Do you know who that is? Kathy, do you know who that is at Courage to Change?
Yeah, Maryland.
Marilyn, that's what I thought. Okay, I was hoping that's what it was. Okay.
obviously, if there's a name that's on that subcommittee list that you think should be on the subcommittee and we just overlooked, by all means, talk to Erica and the subcommittee can be as large or as small as you want, as long as there's not a quorum of SUDAC or a quorum of any other body, really.
Well, they can have a quorum, they just have to publicly notice it.
Yeah.
That's right, that's right.
I'll keep track of it though. Remember, I was the quorum.
You were the
not
quorum.
you.
You were the quorum chief. Well, and also there's wisdom to putting an attorney at the head of this committee. Well, we will find out. We'll find out in September if this works in. All right, I want to be cognizant of everyone's time. We've talked about this for 25 minutes. Particularly Marcus, John, and Lori, do you have any questions or comments at this point?
I'd like to ask a question about our funding situation, like where are we at with that? Like, what, do we know how much money that we have available for this, how much we're going to need? I'm just kind of curious where we're at with that at this point of the process.
So I'm going to, that's gonna be one of the pieces of work that the subcommittee is going to need to do, is to develop a budget. That has not happened yet. But Marcus, we've got some really great things going on in the county that's going to help us that we didn't have in years past. First is we have the opioid settlement dollars. Those are available. Commissioner Giffen stepped out to find the balance of the fund where we all left it from the last summit. Off her top of her head, she thought it was 16,000. I thought it was higher, but we're gonna go find that out right now. Did you come up with a number? Kim's looking. Okay, great. So Marcus, to answer your question, we don't know yet, but that is a knowable series of numbers that we can have the programming committee find out.
Thank you. I know it's early, but it's kind of wanted to know kind of what our starting point was perhaps. So thank you.
John, Lori?
No, I will have to say, I jumped on right as I heard you say, we'll have to tell Lori she was voluntold. So somebody will need to fill me in what it is that part is. But I'm happy to help.
Lori, that's the way we like to do things in county government, is get you on the microphone right before we tell you you're on the committee. Lori, I'll send you, same with you, Marcus and John, we'll send out the document that kind of outlines all of this. That way you have it in a living document.
Yeah, for me, I'm okay. I like the theme. I like it being one day. I like Erica being the chair. I've worked with Erica before, so yeah, I'm okay for
All right.
now. No, I'm kidding. I'm okay.
All right, well, if that's the case, I think we'll just move along on our SUDAC agenda. Marcus, John, Lori, if you're more than welcome to stay, but otherwise, Eric will be in touch.
I'm gonna go. Today is graduation day for the School of
Yay.
Nursing, so I have
Yeah.
to I have to rush to get there. So see you guys later.
Great, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you all.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thanks.
Look forward to being a part of this.
And if it's okay, I'll hang in just to listen, if that's all right.
You're more than welcome.
Just this once.
All right, let's jump back into our regular SUDAC agenda, Substance Use Disorder Awareness Commission agenda, with member announcements and updates. This is a time for you to share what's happening in your organization or area that you represent, and we'll just kind of do popcorn instead of going around the circle. Anybody have anything that they want to add? Yeah.
Our SFB with the IRA got renewed again for 2 years, so
And why is that a big deal?
it allows us to do services again.
And I think we're one of only, how many counties?
8 counties.
8 counties of the
Also, we're
whole
only-
state.
And we're only 2 doing actually evidence-based work.
So thank you, Board of Commissioners.
Definitely.
And we're also trying to move ahead on things related to recovery community organizations.
RCOs, that's gonna be further down the agenda, so we'll dive deep into that.
Yeah.
Anything else that's going on in your organization that you think we need to know about?
I don't know if it counts as an announcement, but I talked to Allison Greider with Limelight Recovery, and I know that we said no lunch and learns this year, but she was interested in sharing about harm reduction therapy. And she has time on her calendar for the afternoon after next SUDAC meeting, if that would be something that we would want to sponsor.
In January?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that we need to squeeze this in before the end of the year. I was
Yeah,
like,
and I told.
That's why it's like, next year, yeah, but if that's something that folks would want to sponsor through SUDAC, we can do that. Otherwise we can just do it as an aside through the health department.
She's been at the IRA for a while, and it's been a game changer, having someone, having an LCSW who's on reduction focused, like for our staff, for our people. She meets with Lauren regularly, she meets with me regularly, like, it's a game changer. Like,
And
it's
Allison-
been, she can meet with participants, she can meet with anybody, I mean, it's literally a game changer. It's been like one of the finest things we've had. That Whitney Cope does a meeting with her, with Allison. I think it was one that Whitney created a long time ago that they're now hybridizing. That's amazing. It's been an amazing thing to have that be part of our stuff, you know. We had never thought about an LCSW there, you know, like on call. It's just been a difference, so.
Allison was part of helping Doug start that IRA in the beginning,
Yep.
like the initial meetings with me, her and Chris, just trying to get through that process of getting it approved from the state level and with that. So, been involved from the beginning.
Melanie, I say schedule it. I think the more lunch and learns we have, the better. It just gets it kind of that into the community's mind that, yeah. I'll be there and help promote it.
Right, what day is that?
I think it's the 19th of January, and we can do it over at the health department, same style that we did last time, just with that buffer period, so.
Whitney, when is
Well-
meeting date? They're meeting right now, so what night is the meeting?
Wednesday night, 6 to 7:30.
That's the IRA. Close up everything so no one,
Yeah.
it's all blanked out, so you know, the syringes and all that stuff is blacked out. Those pictures when we get a building. And we don't wanna have people, some people might get triggers or whatever, so make sure all that's blocked off on this current list for right now. Until we get the new building, so we can then have those a formal group meeting.
And there's food involved.
Yeah.
So it's always important.
Mhm.
That is always important.
We didn't know how to cook.
I think you should update people on the IRA building.
I will, I was gonna, just waiting my, so I can get my clutches in.
Hold on, let me, Nick likes to speak. Did anybody else want to squeeze in before Nick gives a 45-minute dissertation?
My permanent ego check over here.
on-
I love you for that.
I am your humility check.
I love that.
I put at everyone's place these cards that I had made up, and this came up in our suicide and overdose fatality review, that like a lot of people don't know the signs and symptoms of an overdose. And there was like, so I did some research, and there was nothing that was like all inclusive of everything that needed to happen. So I basically just took the information from SAMHSA's opioid overdose prevention toolkit and put this on this card. I was trying to get it smaller, but there was just, yeah, yeah. I was like, if somebody needs to, they could fold it and stick it in there, but yeah, so I have these available.
Anything like this. You need more than you could ever.
Oh.
Drum roll, please.
Okay, so it's more than I originally thought. It's, right now we're sitting with $27,752.
In the middle.
All
You
right,
thought what you thought.
Erica, how can you spend $27,000?
Pretty easy.
It's the holidays. Rubber chicken. Everyone.
Get rubber vegan as well. That goes with my outfit.
December meetings, they just go off the rails so fast. Anybody else have any updates? Yeah.
So I know a couple months ago, I came to a meeting with you about financial peace and problem solving court, and myself and Becca gave some information about costs. So I'll just let everybody know, I received notice last week that the grant proposals I wrote for all the problem solving courts, we're gonna get like almost $90,000 for transportation. We're gonna try to help eliminate some of the costs of drug testing for our participants, which is that's absolutely huge for us. So, it's not really public knowledge because it's just within our department, but I guess it will be now. So that's, and we're gonna got money to do a process evaluation, because we have to do that every 3 or 4 years for our programs. We got money to hopefully get somebody from IU to do that for us.
That's great.
So I wanted to piggyback, so you know that as well. So we'll be coming to you for the additional appropriation in January to get that money done and start spending it. I mean, I'm talking close to probably about $20,000 alone just for drug testing.
Have you ever heard of another probation officer that does self-reflection like that? That's the first time I've ever heard anybody say that in probation. You understand what that means? That means they're having someone great. To come and look at them, make sure that they have something from an outside.
I mean,
point. That's a rare thing.
Part of our rules that we have to do that in the state of Indiana. Every certified problem solving court has to do that. So it's a pain. It's a pain, but it's worth it in the end, because we think that we know we're doing good work, but this just magnifies it that much more. I mean, we know by what people are doing and what they tell us at the end when they graduate from the program, but actually seeing the numbers.
So nothing like that.
Correct.
Yeah. You do the work.
So, thank you.
Wow.
All right, can anybody top $90,000? We're just kidding. This is not a competition. Nick, go ahead.
I'm not even done yet. We bought it up. So it's 1710 West 3rd Street. We are beginning to get the stuff together to do appropriations. It ended up costing $330. I'll have to get the money to that. I'll bring all that stuff to SUDAC and all of the. We have construction starting now. As soon as we turn in the pre-construction stuff and it gets approved and all that, we should be in there by May. Hopefully, we wanted to take this. It's really hard to explain this. The building was set there with 2 trailers attached to it. Why someone ever did this, I have no fathomable idea. We wanted to remove the trailers and bring the building all the way up to make a formal building. We don't have enough money to do that right now. What we're doing is getting services now. So we're redoing one building, and then we'll work on a capital campaign for the other side. And the other side's fine, it's structurally okay, it's got a so it's okay. It's not very nice looking, but now it will be, in fact, it will look. I'll show you a very small picture of it. Because for some reason, I had this done really late yesterday, we had a meeting, and it didn't turn out the way I thought, but.
That's right next to the lead then.
Yeah. It's where
Right there.
chiropractor was before.
Yeah, it's like that.
By the-
Pollution center.
And then-
Right there, that's what-
Yeah.
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 I'm just trying to picture in my brain where that address was.
I know.
Here it
So-
is. It's up on the
like-
screen.
There's still a
Yeah.
rack in there
If you
from the
took-
chiropractor.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a landmark from Second Street to
Uh-huh.
Third,
Right
right,
there.
kind of cheese right into there.
That's really good.
So
Not a bus line.
for those of you joining us
Yes.
on Zoom, I just shared a Google map with the location of the new Indiana Recovery Alliance building right here. So there's the American Legion and where is Custard?
Oh, it's just right.
Yeah.
Culver's
Oh,
right
right there.
there.
It's right there. That's how close we are to Custard. All right.
You mean cheese curds?
Oh.
Cheese
All
curds.
right.
Ooh. Really good shorts.
So we're really excited about that. It's it's yeah, it's amazing. It's kind of jaw dropping work. It's amazing to walk into a place that shares. We haven't done the opening yet, which we will do later. But you know, the county and everyone else really worked really hard on this for us. Like it was amazing how it was kind of like at times. I'm not a big emotional person, but it was kind of at times breathtaking to have like I've been a Monroe County kid my whole life, and to have a building which now half is ours, and to watch people fight for us. That meant not many people fight for us. It was nice to have that there. You know, it's been a big, long haul for a lot of us. You know, and to see the fruition of what the future can hold is amazing. We also got a new research vehicle that's coming in April, which is, God, poor Larry. But it'll replace Larry's state of the art. Like it's absolutely what we needed. It can do full medical. So like if we had full medical, we could do full medical there. We had the nurses coming through. We actually just got a proposal that me and Kathy will have to hash all this out, but like from IU to do a clinic there. So like all of these things, and then I was putting in RCO is our main. I'm not gonna get this because we're doing a deep dive. That was our goal with this. Our goal was a place for people in recovery and people with substance use to have a home, to have something that they built, to have something that they feel ownership of. We're in a weird area. It's right next to Wheeler. There's some unhoused campments in the back. The Legion leaves out food for them often, I guess. So we're gonna have to figure that out. And that kind of relationship and see how we can make that, you know, better or different. But like, I think it was a good place. Like it really feels, it's got good bones, you know, it's a nice location. It's on the B line. We're putting in a new sidewalk because the sidewalk was not ADA approved. It wasn't even there, you know. But it's big. I mean, we're going from a place that's half this room size to 3,800 feet.
It's
You
huge,
know?
yeah.
We can have all sorts of services. Our hope is to, you know, have an incubated RCO out of it. We can separate the buildings. You see what I'm saying? You could have two buildings. The RCO could live there. If it wanted to move out eventually, it could. You know, we don't want an IRA RCO. We want an RCO with people in recovery in our community. It just incubates with us because that's how the process has to go. And I'll leave an update there, and then I won't talk too long, because Peter's gonna get real edgy.
You're gonna be staring at him.
Yeah, I noticed it, yeah. But it's amazing.
Congratulations.
Exciting.
It's really
Cool.
exciting.
I can see why you wanna talk about it.
Yeah.
And I like the location because there's so many people that are in the homeless encampment that are there because of addiction issues.
And that's the big thing is it's like, if we can get some kind of connection, I mean, that's the cure for everything. Connection, time and time again, I keep saying it's the connection, services, connection, friends, connection, anything. If we can form enough of a connection, Beacon will be putting their building real close to there, so like we work with Beacon all the time, you know, like we'll have a place that's so close that like we could literally. I think it's really horrible to put all services in one place. I think it breeds like a certain kind of weird thing, you know? But like, we'll be close enough to all of our people, close to Centerstone, close to Beacon, close to everybody that we can get all services, people who need services and still have a community feel there. You know what I mean? People can watch the flow, people could attend meetings, they can go do recovery coach stuff. And that's the last thing I would say about this, I do have to say, we got the first of scholarships coming in already approved. For our people, Whitney's isn't being held up because they don't know if she needs to do the whole thing yet, or I just got to say, I'm sorry, or the test.
That's cool.
So, but their scholarships all got approved, they're just figuring out which ones. They might just send you to the test in a little mock-up, I talked to Heather.
Great.
Or they might just send you to the thing, and I'm sure how they wanna do. So I talked to them, yeah, so but other people in the area also got it too. So if we're getting scholarships, we should have peer coaches
And it's
with,
open
you know,
right
by
now.
next year.
Scholarships are open.
Yes, scholarships are open again for the patch. If you know anybody who wants to do one,
Yes.
look at the patch. It pays for like the stay there and stuff. And I gotta shut this, Peter's really gonna hurt me if I don't stop. But,
Wow,
it-
violence?
Yeah.
Look at me.
Negatively emotionally affected. I'm a fragile flower.
You a fragile flower?
Until my little sister told me once. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." Anyway, so that's, yeah, so it's really good news all the way around. We're talking with Kelly to see what we can do to speed it up. You know, we'd like to get in there and have it starting to work next year. We really want to get it moving as fast as we can to do all the other programs out of there. And RCO just makes so much sense. I'm just kicking myself. I didn't start doing it a year ago. But we're looking really good.
Well, I think that's a good segue. Let me look to Zoom real quick. Does anybody on Zoom have any updates? Lori, do you have anything from IU Health? Amy, do you have anything?
I do not.
That's all right. Nick's presentation actually pivots nicely to the opioid settlement grant, which Commissioner Githens, I think, helped fund a lot of what Nick was talking about.
Well, and Kathy and Melanie were critical with all this, and so I think that,
The state left us no choice.
well, there also is money for harm reduction came with that, and then they're paying for part of the van that Nick's talking about. We will have to go back to county council to get additional allocation to be able to buy this van. It's close, it's around $240,000. It's not an inexpensive, but it's new. It'll have the features that they want. And like Nick said, hopefully next April or so, which will be really close to when you open your new
I know,
building.
that's
So,
exciting. That's really
and
exciting.
this van will be able to go places that they haven't been able to
Yeah.
get to.
It's a nice, like, it's a way different. The times have changed.
It's very different.
This is all a lot of fearless work that they put in. I mean, I asked and I consoled and stuff, but Benny and Kathy, they're putting in a lot of work in this.
It's the right thing to do.
The grant, though, is different than the opioid settlement, and Commissioner Githens, you formed a working group to oversee the opioid settlement.
It's not to oversee it, it's to make recommendations to county council on how the money should be allocated. And one of the things that Whitney helped spark with all that is to do additional scholarships for people who want to become certified peer recovery coaches and to do also the second level. But we're looking at a number of different recommendations for what to do with that money. We've talked about Judge Decoff was saying things like helping to pay for some of the fees and stuff like that. I don't know if we're able to. I know that county council approved $93,000 for Amethyst House. And so I originally, Judge Decoff thought they were interested in more, so we need to find out if they still want the additional, I think it's $33,000 or something like that. So, yeah, we have very specific things that we've started to look at. Another thing that Melanie suggested and that I think our health folks are supportive of is the bags that we would distribute that help to destroy the prescription drugs. Is that the right way to
They
describe
can
it?
destroy any drugs.
Well, there's specific, the purpose in this instance would be to help you. It's for people that have the drugs that they're on. If you've ever seen any of these disposable bags, that disposable bags, right? So, yeah. We will be meeting again in a couple of weeks.
That's right. And the exciting thing about this opioid settlement is that not all the companies have reached the settlement agreement yet. So there is the potential for additional resources to come to counties. And so this is going to be a long-term process. That being said, we are in the process of developing an application by which area agencies can apply for these funds. That is forthcoming because we know this isn't going to be like the American Recovery Plan where there's a deadline. This is gonna be a rolling type of a situation, and so that's why this working group is so important. And I really appreciate your updates. Thank you. All right, let's talk about RCOs. That is plural, and how that works in. Well, let's stick with RCOs first of all. We heard IRA is going to be an RCO with their building next to Frozen Custard and
Well, okay,
Choose Curtis.
they have to do it through 501c3, which is why we have to do it that way. Our hope is to get the people who are in the recovery community, to form that board, to form Choose Their ED. Our only hope is just to, you have to incubate it through a 501c3. That's the only reason. If I could do it outside of that, I would not even have my. We don't want to muddy the waters by having it be a Nick or a IRA show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It needs to be everybody in recovery. So we'll do open board, like as egalitarian as we can possibly do it with people in recovery. And that will just be the mandate where we start. Are you in recovery? Okay. Let's talk.
Your board has to have at least 51% of its members be in recovery.
And so Monroe County will have an RCO at Indiana Recovery Alliance. And then Commissioner Githens, you and I had a meeting with another agency who's interested in forming an RCO.
New Leaf New Life, to do a separate one. And it would probably have a slightly different focus, because one of the things that we need to worry about is getting things up and running so that we can get this, so we can do the integrated reentry and correctional support program. We're not gonna have these done in time for us to start the IRAC program in January for sure. But it would be good if we could get some stuff going to be on board as soon as possible.
And just real quick, government is really good about coming with acronyms. What does IRAC stand for?
Integrated reentry and correctional support program.
Thank you.
And I only know because it's written on the agenda. So I can read it.
After January, you can't put in there, because that's not what I.
No. The next possible program start time is January. The one after that would be July probably. Okay, so they don't start them just when you're ready. They want to go on a specific schedule.
Got you. Okay.
I think that's because of the funding, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Partly, yeah, and I think it's easier for them if they have it scheduled.
yeah.
What they want to do. So we are actually, we have a meeting scheduled with, and I couldn't find the link to send you guys, but I'll try to.
I've got it.
Oh, okay.
I can send it down.
So we're meeting with Heather Rodriguez at the state to talk more about the RCO.
Yep.
Through New Leaf New Life.
And then, so reentry is really something that this community cares deeply about. At the last county council meeting, we heard from the probation department, and they received grant funding to do reentry work as well. So this is all hands on deck. A lot of people working together on this. It's a really exciting time for getting folks back into the community after incarceration.
They had a $60,000.
Yeah, really exciting. Grants coming in left and right.
They
It's
didn't
a-
leave me like that.
No, the probation department.
Oh, nice.
Actually, you guys have a grant too for reentry.
That was with,
That was
That was
with
it.
probation.
Yeah, yeah.
yep, yes. So thank you, Centerstone.
I'm not sure yet.
Well, the grant's been appropriated, so
Well, they're saying there's gonna be somebody at the probation department, right? Gonna be actually at the office.
Oh, yeah, so it's actually gonna be split between Christina Murphy and Jody Wallace.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
because we have like, this is what we found out before when I had an intern in that position. She was a recovery coach, but she was a master's level intern. How helpful it was to have those intakes, to have somebody do those intakes. And so, yeah, Christina will be at the probation office 2 days a week, and they will be bringing her like from the probation, like directly to Christina to do that intake. Because when you have to like schedule it, like we lose people.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah.
all right, Melanie, we're gonna look to you. Any updates on the community health improvement plan?
Not right now. We're working on writing up the report, so as soon as I have that, I should have it by the end of the year, hopefully, and then we'll get it looking pretty for January.
Awesome.
I'll submit you right.
That's been a long process, so that's nice that the report's coming to fruition.
Yes, and that mapping project, I mean, people are talking about it. It came up independent of me or Kathy, in, what was it called? There's a thing last. Yes, the substance use and mental health summit that the Bloomington Health Foundation had brought up, and so there was a lot of talk about, you know, the reentry things, just the things that showed up on that map, so. It'd be good to put it in a document.
Yeah. And the timing seems right too. Yeah. Well, good. Minutes were emailed out. Were there any changes to those minutes? Any issues with those minutes? Seeing none, we'll just approve by acclamation. Is there anything else on this December day that you would like to share as it relates to substance use?
I heard something really interesting last Friday. Was it Friday, Tuesday, Monday? I don't know.
Sundays now.
Yeah. It was a virtual meeting from Street Medicine Institute that's working with the local Health Net and their street outreach program. And one of the things that the doctor who is heading all this said is that if they can work with people who are unsheltered homeless, who have medical and mental and or substance use things, if they can get them into treatment before they even get them into housing, that they're more successful in staying in housing. And so to meet people where they are is so critical. And just it reinforces the kind of stuff that we've heard. That's kind of what we're trying to do. So in discussion with people at Health Net about some ways that the county might help them as well.
Well,
So I'd like to talk to you about it.
Wonderful,
Oh, that's a
wonderful.
really good part.
They have one of the few, the local Health Net has one of the few programs around that has a psychiatric nurse practitioner.
Yeah,
He can do some of this medication.
They're just absolutely game changers, yeah.
We get folks that will refuse to go to the hospital,
They'll walk right now.
but they trust Health Net. They have that relationship
Mhm.
building.
They're out in the
They're
field.
wonderful.
Doing wound care out in the field. They're doing
Yeah.
Those
testing.
are
They're
always our
administering
go-to. You don't
meds.
even prefer to be anywhere else, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
great. They got a great team there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So
All
That's really
right.
Cool, thanks. That's really.
Our next meeting will be January the 19th. That's a Friday. It will be in the Nat U Hill Room with brand new microphones. So get ready for that. We'll need 6 people in attendance, so we'll make sure that Molly Turner King sends out those emails to you. We will also at that meeting hear back from the first meeting of our planning committee. So we're excited to have that report. This meeting is adjourned. Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Good for you.